welcome back. This is the Entrepreneur Spotlight. I'm Izina Igbuka, standing in for Tenda Chimelu. And today I have a special guest for you. He is a driving force in the furniture industry in Nigeria. And he is someone who has dedicated his life for the excellence, the growth, and the sustainability of this industry. Please join me and welcome Dr. Prince Emeka Ekwe. Egekwu. Oh, thank you so much for that. So welcome, sir, to the show. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
So let's dive right into this conversation. Let's start with the general landscape of the furniture industry in Nigeria. So can you tell us about that? The challenges, the opportunities, just, a brief discussion.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Prince Emeka Egwekwe. Well, I see our industry at this junction where significantly we have a lot of challenges. And mainly, let me start by telling us our challenge in times of today's affairs. Inflation, limited access to quality and materials, inconsistencies in power supply and competitions from cheap import and do high exchange costs. We have been suffering from this because government policies are not stable. I think this is where we are now.
Okay, I understand that. So speaking of government policies, what policies do you think the Senate and the government in general can put in place to help with, a lot of these issues?
Well, I think right now, we have a discussion with the Senate 2-3 months ago in terms of policies. And we pleaded that if the Senate will make mandatory that they will make a law whereby the government will use about 80% of made in Nigerian furnitures. They reduce the importation of foreign furnitures by adding more taxes on importation of furnitures. By so doing, you have made the local manufacturers to strive in the industry. We cannot be importing and having capital flight and still be talking about making waves in the industry. Today, as I speak to you, the furniture industry is going down. People are going out of business because of the policy. You can't go and import and sell and employ. So this is what we are asking for, that they will look into kind of making a policy that will be sustainable in buying our made in Nigerian furniture.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, honestly. But another issue that a lot of furniture producers have in Nigeria is finding locally sourced materials. So how do you think that these producers can get access? What initiatives are available for these source materials?
I think through professional bodies like Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and also UFA, United Furniture Association of Nigeria, we are partnering with forestry experts to see how they will make sure that sustainable wood harvesting is being done at least close to us with the user. Two, we are looking at connecting manufacturers with the sole suppliers of this very material. And by so doing, these very materials will be close to us and we'll use it to make a better furniture.
Okay, well, that's really good to know that at least these locally sourced materials, there are ways to get
We have
to
it
it.
here in Nigeria.
Wow. So what about the artisans? What are there any initiatives as well for like giving these skills to artisans, like empowering them?
Yeah. Right now, I think in our United Furniture Association, we have trained over 4,000 carpenters. And we are doing so much in terms of building a vocational institute where we train them the more. Prince Interior is ongoing with a vocational institute that will be ready by next year, which will employ about 2,000 carpenters. Train them and train others. I think that's what we are planning to do. So Nigeria will be having so much of these workers in within local manufacturing area.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm sure that's really good to know for a lot of artisans out there. So also, there's something that is always like on the thoughts of every producer and every company nowadays, which is sustainability.
Yes.
How does your company ensure sustainability, and how do you even ensure this with the organization that is the United Furniture Association? Yeah.
Well, I think right now, as I speak to you, we are putting in programs to make sure that we sustain this very business and this sector. We are using some of the vocational institutes around us, sending them to go and learn this very job, to have a skill and the technical know-how about how to fix and modernize the new modern furnitures that will beat even the foreign furnitures. Two, in our little way in our industry here in the market, we have a training center where we train these young men to make sure that this thing is sustainable.
Wow, that's really great to know. So I just want to give you a little time, because I know you also have a personal brand, which is Prince Interior Furniture. I just want you to tell us about like your practices, like your personal brand. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Prince Interior is a super brand when it comes to this industry. I think today we are 24 years in furniture making.
Wow.
And we started very little. I used to tell the youths that there's no dream that you want to actualize in life that you cannot actualize when you start small. You don't need to wait to start big. Prince Interior started with 17 naira year 2000. Today we have about 169 stars in the industry. And we are training more. As we speak today, we are looking at opening that very vocational institute, which I've said earlier, training about 2,000 Nigerians every year, both here in Nigeria and in Austria, where we have a partnership with the Austrian Vocational Institute. And I know with this very dream, in the near future, Nigeria will be having youths that have skill, that can be proud of themselves. If Prince Interior will start with 17 naira without no skill, the youth that has a skill in that very vocational institute, you will be greater than Prince. And this is my dream for Nigeria.
Wow, that's really great to know. Wow, that's a lot to think about. And this is also really inspiring for stakeholders to go out there, and put in put in what they can put in. If it's artisans, these initiatives are available to learn a lot more. And if it's like a lot of producers, you can lobby the government to, push these initiatives as well to make sure that it's actualized. So thank you so much for your time, Dr. Prince. We enjoyed having you here. And I'm Izina, and please stay tuned for more entertainment.
Thank you very much.